everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. My gosh, I'm so excited. I have TragicPlumbob, aka Miss Rachel, here today. So thank you so much for coming today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Yeah, no, I'm really happy to be here. I've never done one of these before, but
Oh my
exciting
gosh,
and
I get
never
to
had a
pop your
face before.
cherry. Oh my God, Miss Rachel. Like I feel so honored. Well, welcome. Why don't we start us off? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your Sims history?
So yeah, I'm Tragic Plumbob or Rachel. So I don't think this is going to come as a surprise. I started my Instagram when the pandemic happened. I think that's like nearly everyone's story, isn't it? But yeah, no, I started it because I thought I had nothing else really to do, to be honest. I've been playing Sims since it started in 2000. I was probably about like 8 9, so around that age I used to absolutely love it then, and I've always played it. I think the only one that I didn't really play that much was probably Sims 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed Sims 4. But yeah, I just decided to like start doing Simsgram. So I started seeing like quite a lot of people doing it over the pandemic, and I was like, hey, let's give this a go, bit of fun. The thing that I've enjoyed about it though is watching my like Instagram improve over time, because I remember when I first started, I'd be like, how are these people doing this? Like, because I, I think it was just like the editing skills and all of this, and I was like, it's incredible. So that's been really like fun to learn and stuff. But yeah, no, that I don't. I mean, YouTube. I sometimes do a bit of YouTube. I'm a bit of a hit and a miss with YouTube. I really don't enjoy the editing side of things. I find it quite like a long process. So sometimes you'll see me like having loads of videos all in a row, and then
Mm-hmm.
I kind of stop for a while. But that's just because I have quite a lot of things going on in my life. Um, but yeah, no, Sims. Yeah, it's just my outlet. It's my way of coping with everything else that's going on in the world, really.
I love that. That's a great thing about The Sims, right? It allows you to, be creative. Because like as adults, like let's be honest, like we don't really have creative jobs unless you're in a creative, like if you're an artist or you work in marketing or culinary or just anything like that. But like typically most of us just have 9 to 5 jobs and we just bang our head against the wall praying for it to be five, pretty much. And we don't feel creative, but here, like we're able to do whatever we want. But also similar. I started my Instagram throughout the pandemic. I was actually trying to think the other day. I was like, how did I stumble upon Instagram? Because I can't remember. I'm glad I did, but I don't remember. What Simstagram people caught your eye first?
Do you know what? I think it was Cookie Creative.
Really?
Yeah, I really remember seeing her profile and being like, this is crazy what these people are doing. Like, because I was like, I've always played Sims. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't I like posting things? I mean, when I first started posting, I was like, oh, it's not gonna like this is I'm not gonna get any followers. I'm just gonna do it and just kind of give it a go, have a bit of fun with it. And yeah, and then people started following me, and then I started making friends on like Instagram and stuff, and that was the bit that I think really helped me during the pandemic, because like I got to speak to different people around the world. I got to hear like what other people were going through and stuff, started doing collaborations, met loads of people, and it was just yeah, it was like, I mean, because I'm not probably I when I'm with my friends like that I'm close with, I'm quite
Mm-hmm.
like extroverted, but generally I'm quite an introverted person and stuff. So, and I find it quite hard to like make new friends and stuff. So when I like came on Instagram and started making friends and started talking to different people, and
Mm-hmm.
that I it was kind of like I'd come out of my shell a little bit, and I found like a bit of confidence and stuff. Because I remember because my partner, he used to do a car YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to be like, how on earth do you do this? Because I could not think of like anything worse than random people speaking to me and stuff. And then when I started doing Instagram, I ended up loving it. And I never thought I would end up that'd end up happening to me, because but I do. I love talking to all of them. I love when people ask me questions and things, because yeah, it's nice. It's cool.
Oh my gosh, no, I love that. And again, the Sims community is just like this giant warm hug, and everybody is so nice. And everyone is just so uplifting. And they'll be like, oh my God, like you did this. This is amazing. And that's so funny. It was Cookie. I didn't know Cookie existed because she took a break when I
Yeah.
started. So I was like, she came back and I saw like Cookie's back, and I saw so many people talking about it. I was like, who? Keep going. And then she followed me. And I was like,
Yeah.
at that time, she like that was like the somebody with the most followers had followed me. And I was like, you want to follow me?
Yeah.
I just post
Oh,
memes at this point. Like, what's up? And then I messaged her. She's like, I really like what you do, and I hear you have a podcast. And I'm like, yeah. Do you want to be honest? She's like, for sure. I was like, wait, what?
oh, she's lovely. Like
She's
she's such a kind person.
she's so lovely, and we've become good friends since that. And I'm just like, oh, I love following her adventures, especially when her doggo is doing something. It's so cute. Especially Cookie was
Oh,
doing something cute. She's like, oh my god, so cute. But anyways, I it's fascinating to see like we all come from different walks of life. A lot of us have a lot of the same Sims journeys. Now, I also played Sims 1 and Sims 2. I didn't really play Sims 3 because I was in college, university at the time. And then obviously Sims 4. Now if Origins, Steam, whoever had the ability to release the Sims had the ability to release the original Sims in Sims 2, would you buy it and play it?
Sims 2, yes. And
Yeah.
Sim the first one, yeah, definitely. Do you know what? It's Making Magic. If I could go back and play Making Magic 100%, like that was like the best.
Right. And you're when like because like I don't know, like I'll be 30 next year. So I was a kiddo when that game came out. And I don't really remember everything. I just remember the magic sets and stuff. But like if I would have known that whatever the last day that I would have played it would have been the last time I played it, I would have played the shit out of it. If you know what I
Me
mean?
too.
Like
So I've just turned 30. So yeah,
are you 92 or 90? So then you're 92.
I'm 92, yeah.
93. So where's the exactly? We're very close in age. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday who never played the original two Sims because they weren't alive. And that makes me feel really old to feel that way. But what experiences did you have playing the first two Sims games?
Oh, do you know what? I remember playing the first one was just like this game is amazing. Like I just
Mhm.
remember because so I didn't actually own a computer, my nan and granddad did.
Oh,
So I would go upstairs after school and I would play on their computer and it was like dial-up internet. It was like full on old school brick computer. And yeah, I would sit and play on that and literally my nan would have to pull me off and be like, you need to come downstairs for dinner. And I'd be like, oh, I'd be like, I want to play. Sims 2 was probably when I started understanding a bit more like what actually The Sims was, like what like, kind of really getting to grips like this is like what the kind of game was.
mhm,
Things that I liked about Sims 2, compared to Sims 1 is like the whole family story. So like
mhm.
the Pleasant family and things like that with you'd go in and then the maid would come over and start being all a bit naughty and stuff. Like I thought that was excellent. And I think that's some of the
Yes.
things that Sims 4 is missing out on now. But one
Mhm.
thing I don't understand, right? So we got Realm of Magic.
Yeah.
That game, like, it was good. It was all right. Like, I enjoyed it. I love a lot of the objects and stuff. I mean, to be fair, I don't really play the game much
Yeah, yeah.
anymore. But why didn't they bring aspects of making magic into Realm of Magic? I just don't understand it. Like the cooking things, the dragons, like the little dragon egg thing. I just
Right?
don't like going down underground, receiving a box full of magic items and things like that. Like, I just don't understand why that wasn't brought into. Yeah, I just there's a lot of things in Sims 4 where I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand why they decided to do things like the way that they done like because I'm pretty sure when you got Sims 1, when you got that base game, you did
Mhm.
have swimming pools, didn't you? Was
Yes.
that
Yeah, we
so
did.
why was swimming pools never I just don't some of the logic behind Sims 4, I'm just like, what?
Oh,
What?
I could not agree more. I think of the amazing of making magic and how ahead of a time it was. And then you have fucking Glimmerbrook, whatever that world is called. Like it's a
Oh,
completely missed opportunity. Like I honestly, I just use the build buy for like out of that pack. If anything, I just use the portals the most. Like I'm gonna be super honest. And the tombs for reading because it looks cool for photo, like for shots and stuff. But you're absolutely right. It really did miss the mark, especially for us who played the original. I kind of starting to realize that I think the Sims team is going for the next generation of Simmers, and I think that's a mistake. And the reason I feel that way, just because like I do work corporate marketing, and now that the base game is free, I mean, that's
Hmm.
marketing 101. Uh, give out free content, but they'll buy it more eventually, right? You can't sell the cow, you gotta, sell the milk. But like for an example, like yes, I'm very happy the base game is out there. You're gonna be able to play, but so expansion packs in Canada are about $60. Um, yeah. So it's gonna be $120 for you to have a dogs, and it might rain if you turn it off. You know what I mean? It's just kind of stuff like that. So I think they're kind of gearing up for the next generation, but it's us, the original players, that are carrying the Sims community on our backs. And I kind of feel like they've forgotten about us, or they've turned their backs on us. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it is definitely about the new people coming into it, but I think they need to remember that there's so many of us that are still
Mhm.
playing from the beginning, and we do remember what the old games were like. And I think what something you said like literally hit the nail on the head.
Mhm.
It's when they made Making Magic, that was such ahead of its time. Like it
Mhm.
was some of the things that they had in it, it was just mental for that period in time.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can't now do that now, I think the fact that we still haven't got content about babies. I know it's coming up, but like the fact that that's still not a thing,
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah,
It's
I don't. Yeah,
it's so weird in my opinion that like yeah, like we like I mean there's but they're still gonna have the bugged baby part of it. They just added another span of the life cycle. I just like the Sims one was completely different to anything that was coming out at that time. Early 2000s. What did you have? A couple web-based games, PlayStation games. I don't know,
yeah.
like, Dine and
Disney
Dash,
games. I think there
Disney
was like
games.
Beauty and the Beast ones or something like that. That's all I
Yeah,
really remember.
exactly. Well, now there's 10 different versions of like different types of Sims out there, right? Like they're kind of catering more, but I don't find like they're keeping up with it. Like we're literally sitting here begging for the Sims to have a color wheel. They show us a color wheel for Project Renee, and we're like, oh my God. But like, remember, Sims 3 had a fucking color wheel, and that came out like over 10 years ago. Like, it's just like I find sometimes they take a step back, but then they
Hmm.
take two, three steps forward, but then they take four steps back again. It's
Yeah,
so weird. I'm a huge component believing that EA is going for Marvel for content because they are just rushing out content at this point. Like they are how many kits came out this year? Like we
don't. They're
had
trying to make me bankrupt. Like literally, like I swear, there's something coming out each month, and I'm like, I can't afford this, guys. Please,
right,
just slow down a little bit.
right, and it's like think about every game that ever exists out there. If I said to you right now, this video game is going to cost you $500, you would not buy it because you'd be like, I'm not paying for that. That's ridiculous. It's a game. But then they get you because they have like these little like, oh, it's only $20 here, it's $30 here. And let's be honest, if you're a Sims player, you're a completionist, because I've never talked to a Sim player that's not a completionist. And we all have to have every pack. We have to because
Yeah.
we're like, we have to have it. And I just kind of feel like it's becoming very expensive, especially with Sims 5. Like everything that they've shown, I'm sure that you've seen the Sim Summit, the color wheel, changing of the objects, being able to move everything. I don't think my computer is going to be able to handle that. Not I can't have both. I can't have Sims 4 on my computer and then have Sims 5.
I'm so scared of The Sims 5. I mean, I know it's like inevitable, it's going to happen. So, in an ideal world, what I would actually prefer them to do is don't bother with Sims 5, but just upgrade Sims
Mm-hmm.
4 and like just continue with it, but put those added features in there and just keep going with that as the franchise rather than turning into a new thing. I can't be bothered starting from the beginning again.
Yep.
I don't want a pack where I don't have swimming pools,
Mm-hmm.
toddlers, and all of this jazz. I'm not in the mood for it. Not can't be bothered. And I think the other thing for me, so you might know this from my Instagram, but I'm like quite a big Kaz creator.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my my favorite thing with Sims is the custom content side of things. And
Mm-hmm.
something that freaks me out is obviously when Sims 5 first comes out, it's going to take a while until like custom content creators actually get up to speed and figure out what the game's like and how to actually create custom content for that.
Hmm.
which then means that really the part that I love about Sims, I won't actually be able to do, and for quite a bit of time, and then I'll have to use whatever they have. And so I don't know. I'm not excited about it, to be honest. I'm not don't want it, but
Oh, I
it's gonna
got you.
happen.
It's gonna happen. I got you. I don't think it's gonna come out till 2025. I think we got lots of time. This is the thing that scares me the most. So they have every screenshot we have seen is building. Everything. How bad do these Sims look then if you're not showing them? I mean, it's an honest question, right? Like why not even just show like what prototype of what you're thinking for the head shape or a hair texture or boobs. I don't even care at this point. Or just literally something. But they've showed
Oh,
nothing.
nothing. You do know what? I
Nothing.
haven't even thought about that. They haven't showed anything for Kaz, but there's so many mixed opinions about what Kaz should be. Like some people want it to be more realistic, some people don't, and then there's these. I'm probably in between. Like I wouldn't mind it a little less cartoony, but
Okay.
not completely realistic. I don't want real looking sim. I think that's very like I look at myself every day. Like I don't need to see that on Sims as well. Like I'm quite happy for it to be like a made up
I
thing that's
I got you. I'm a 70-30. 70%
okay.
realistic, 30% cartoonish.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably where I'm at as well. That sounds like quite reasonable. Yeah, no,
right? Because as a storyteller, I cast is extremely important to me. That's literally how we tell our story is how does the sim look? What clothes are they wearing? What's the setting? Is if they're are they dirty? Is there blood? Is there a cut? Where is it? Like it's so important. I literally spent 2 hours this morning. I got up about a little after 7, and my first summer spot was at 9. And I spent that entire time downloading CC because I was like, I'm doing a photo shoot in here. So I'm like, I need outfits. I need proper makeup that goes with that. I need freckles. I need skin details. I need eyelashes. Sorry, I get very emotional to the fact that I have to have eyelashes there, CC. Or like, you know what I mean?
yeah, I
And I
yeah, I'm
and you get
exact
it as
same.
well, right? So
Yeah.
I kind of hope that The Sims, well, we know they're working with mod creators now, which is awesome. I hope when Sims 5 comes out that they're in the room when it happens and they listen to them and then they pay them accordingly. And not pennies on the dollar, but pay them for their service, pay them for their time. Right?
I completely agree. Like I think when I remember it must have been what only this year or last year when we received actual high-waisted skinny jeans.
I think it was
It took them,
last year.
was it last
I
year?
think it
Like
was
when they
last
had
year.
all, yeah. And like, how on earth have we had this game for so long and we haven't had a high-waisted trouser? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
come on, like they must be people like us that are creating The Sims, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Surely they see what we're wearing, what kind of fashion we're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't that in the game? Why isn't it sim like why can't like I don't think I could actually create one of my outfits that I wear on a day to day
Mm-hmm.
by using actual their content. I have to use custom content to be able to like
Mm-hmm.
just find a normal top and maybe a pair of leggings that actually like yeah, I just yeah, I don't to be fair from I still don't post things with EA content when I'm doing CAS. And I find it really difficult now, especially with eyelashes. I'm same as you, I'm a bit
Mm-hmm.
emotional when it comes to the eyelashes. I've even used a mod now to remove EA eyelashes because they
Mm-hmm.
drive me nuts.
Yep.
Um, but I can't create a sim now without custom content because it just drives me crazy, like not being able to like have as like more realistic content.
Right. I totally have you. I mean, then you must be as scared as me when you see patch day announcement coming out and you're like, oh my God, I have everything backed up. We're okay. And you know, when you log on and they all look like naked morats because they have literally nothing on them. And I'm like, oh, perfect. I had a patch update. That's Alexa. Couldn't maybe it's her. Could be any of them, to be honest with you. I think that's just crazy. Like, why are you punishing us because we want to enhance our game to how we see it be played? Like, I know some games are like anti no mods, no custom content. That's clearly not The Sims. They know that that's another side of it is custom content. Why are we still talking about guys? It's patch day. back up your CC. Here's all the links to all the 20 most popular mods. I'll have this updated soon. Like it's just it's annoying at this point.
It's so annoying.
And
Like,
I know. And I'm hoping with the whatever the mod lone wolf something thing that they're doing. I don't know what it's called. I'm actually excited what it is, but the name doesn't stick with me. I hope whatever it is that when the game updates, they will reach out to everybody on that list and say, we are having an update come out this day. Here's all the coding you need. Have it ready to go. So when the game updates, we're not literally seeing people be like, well, I've just lost everything.
something that I'm really scared about is you might, I don't know, do you use Origin?
I do.
And that's soon to be going, isn't it? So
yeah, it's the EA app now, which I'm like, ugh. Business
I think
Daddy,
it's going
why
to
are
go
you
wrong.
doing this to us? Right?
Don't, okay, this might just be me because
Lay it on me.
I don't trust them. I don't trust EA at all, but I just feel like something's going to go wrong. I'm probably
Yes.
going to lose all of my Sims games, and I'm probably not going to be able to retrieve them because I'm going to have to try and talk to someone to try and get them back, and it's going to be a massive old process. And I think there's going to be loads of bugs during that, and it's going to be a nightmare.
Yes. And that's how we're starting off 2023, baby, because that comes live January 1st, 2023. I have all of my tray files, all of my CC backed up on external. So God forbid if I was to lose. Hold on. Tapping some wood. If I was to lose something, I might be okay. Please, Sims gods, listen to me. I don't have time to go back in. But it's again, why are we so scared of that? Like we should just be like, oh cool, we're just doing a new way to log in. Awesome. And it should be fine instead of being like, okay, we might lose everything. Okay, I have to make peace with that. And I might have to re-download everything. And EA's customer service team's like literal garbage and they don't respond to anything. And then like you have like, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like it's
Well, I think after every update, I've had an issue.
Mhm.
Whenever a new game comes out, there's an issue, and I think it's progressively got worse since
yes.
new games have come out. Like I think my wedding is that was it. That's what I don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what the names have got so weird as well? Like as of late, haven't they? Like I don't remember any of the names of the wedding one,
Yeah, the
wedding
wedding.
stories. Um, like I think that was the point when that game was so bugged that
Mhm.
they should have done something about it, and they didn't. And it's like, so now it's like, yeah, we've got babies coming. Babies are going to be bugged, aren't they? We already know that that's just going to be a nightmare.
Yes.
It's going to be horrendous.
I'm convinced for babies that they're going to use the cat and dog coding. So you're going to have your babies running away, or they're going to be crawling halfway through walls, or just something creepy, or crawling up the wall because they're not going to be
Interesting.
they're not going to be coded correctly. So this was pointed out to me a while ago, and I was like, holy shit! So you're going to have these baby toddlers going around, right? So the kits that came out and the packs that came out back in like 2013, 2014, yeah, like I'm talking get to work, outdoor retreat, their coding will not make sense to what this infant's going to be. So either they have to overhaul everything to update it, which they're not going to do correctly,
No,
or you're going
no.
to have severe bugs when you visit those worlds. Anything newer should be fine, but any of that old coding is not going to resonate with the new coding.
Do you think babies is going to be similar to a pet where they do things but you can't actually touch them or like click onto the baby? And yeah, I
Yeah.
could.
Oh yeah. They promise these things. You had it because you know EA will be like, oh, look, you'll be able to pick it up. And then the corner will say, not actual game footage. Right. So we don't know what it's going to be like. Again, like my wedding story, I bought that pack because I wanted to live out my dreams of being a wedding cake baker. I thought I could go through debug, grab every single debugged cake out there, and just make this beautiful cake just like, let alone I was fucking wrong because you can't do that. You can't go into debug and grab all these cakes. You have to physically make these fucking cakes. And it's so annoying. And they only last for 7 hours. That's it.
Oh, and then they start getting green,
And then
the
they start
green.
getting green. Exactly. And you're just like, this is, oh my God.
Oh,
Why
well,
did
it's the same when I make coffee shops. Like I'll be like, I'll try to do a coffee shop and I'll try and get like, luckily with the new kit, we've got coffee mugs. But prior to that
Yep.
kit, I'd put coffee mugs all across the wall and be like, yeah, be looking like a coffee shop. And then you go into like live mode to take your pictures.
And
And
it's
then
all
you've got
green.
this like room and it's like, can't really use that, can I? Like, it just does it's I don't I wouldn't be going to that coffee shop if there was green steam coming out of my mug.
You actually just go to Starbucks, you're like, what's that? Is that their holiday collection? Nah, it's just green. It's just green coming. Oh my god. That's so funny. But yeah, no, I'm very petrified for what is like just please just don't give us anything for 6 months. I don't like don't have any patch updates. We know there's gonna be more kits coming out. Like we know that. I mean, at least these last kits didn't seem horrendous. What are your thoughts about these new kits?
I absolutely love them.
That's good.
I do you know what they're probably like, so the clutter one is probably my favorite kit that's come out. I think so. I've been banging on for ages that I wanted a clutter kit. So one of my favorite things also, like as well as Kaz, is when I do like building and stuff, I
Mhm.
love clutter. Absolutely, like it's one of my favorite things to do as part of the building process because I like to try and make it look realistic. So
Yeah.
again, I got to a stage where I would only use CC in builds because I wanted that real clutter. But now I can create things like using the things that they've given in these new ones. The pastel one, do you know what? When they first announced there was going to be a pastel one, I was like, here we go again. It's going to be another like nifty knitting where it's got the weird colors, and you're a bit like, where on earth am I going to use this? Because,
Mm-hmm.
but actually, I was surprised that it wasn't. So something they're doing now in kits, which they weren't doing before, was they do give you a few neutral tones.
Okay.
Um, but with other ones like yeah, nifty knitting, I don't think there's one. I know that's not a kit, but like it's still it does. There's not like a color in the scheme in there that you're like that's slightly okay for me to use. That they're all a bit out there, and
What do you mean? We don't have teal in like every room ever or yellow?
oh,
Sorry,
I
can't
mean,
even say that in the street. I remember
the
looking at
one
this being like, what the fuck?
the one that I thought was very risky, which they did, but I did like it as well, was the maximalist kit. Is that what it's called? The one that has like the peacock and the really like lairish
Oh
wallpaper.
yeah.
Max.
Yeah, I bought that for one thing and then I never played it again. I'm like, why do we have a fucking vortex in the wall, but I have to download CC pillows? That was my stance when that came out. I'm like, who's using the vortex in the wall? Who is that for? A
You know what? I
goddamn
didn't
teen
even
room?
use that for Halloween. I didn't even use the vortex for Halloween. Like there is, I've never used it. I can't use. Like I don't. What? Don't even know what is it for? Like why is it there? Why is that maximalist?
No. But yeah, we can't have pillows or blankets or slightly opened doors. But yeah, we can have vortexes into walls. I think the row paper, the rose wallpaper was. I was like, okay, maybe it's the roses are this big, like they're bigger than the Sims heads. Like take to scale, guys. It's not the same, and you're just like, who is this for? Because it's not for us. Like
Yeah,
who?
I mean, I like
Yeah.
the thing that I find really strange as well with Sims is when they create animal looking products in their
Mm-hmm.
like you don't then actually have those animals in the game.
Yeah.
Like they have like the pig sculpture, but they don't actually have pigs on Country Living. They
Mm-hmm.
have the peacock, but
We don't have
does the sim
peacocks.
even know what a peacock is? Like,
I don't think they
like
do. I think they're just like, or like flamingo shit. We don't have flamingos in the game. I could you imagine? Okay, guys, this is gonna be our next expansion world kit. Okay, so we're gonna have all these animals. We're gonna give you peacocks and cat no pigs, no horses though.
no,
And
no horses.
peacock, yeah, definitely. We'll throw some more peacocks and we'll throw a chinchilla in there, just for fun. And it's gonna be $100 because we're introducing world animals, but still no horses. That's its own thing. I remember reading during when cottage living started, I was like, oh my god, it's horses. This is the time they're gonna, and they didn't put it in. And one of the fucking Sims gurus out there, please, I don't care, pick one. They're like, horses aren't on a farm. That's what they said. Horses are not. I'm sorry. Where are horses then if they're not on farms or stables?
But we got a llama.
You
Like,
got a
come on,
llama.
like
Oh, I don't
I
want a llama, and you can't ride them. Like, okay, if you could ride llamas, that would have been funny. It was funny. But like horses, that is a huge aspect for storytelling and real life careers. I want to have a cowboy scene where they're on fucking horses, okay? And I have the mods. I have, but they're the bikes. It's just the bike. When they get on and they have the helmet and they go like this. Anybody who's can't is not watching this and they're listening, it's like riding a bike. You got because they're doing this, or like they're holding the ears because the ears are the
oh
handles, and they have the helmet on and they're like moving their legs as they're riding this horse, and it's so buggy. It's just like,
oh
and I'm
oh
like,
dear.
right. And now I have the decor horses that they're just statues and you sit on them, but it loses its edge when it's not movable. It's like drivable cars. Like, I'd love that. I think that would be cool. Another thing to spend our simoleons on, besides, armors for our house, I guess, that are $10,000, I guess, like
Yeah. What was your thoughts when they stopped doing stuff packs and they got kits?
Rachel, I would give my left tit to have a stuff pack. I'm sorry. I can't stand kits. I cannot stand them. They're
Me
so
neither.
expensive. They're $8 here. I'm sorry, $8 is a lot for something I find that you don't get a lot of value out of. Um, this is my theory. Kits are for console players. I'm 100% well aware. This is their version of CC. Give console players kits for free. Let them have that content. Make us pay for it because we have the ability to have CC. But maybe let's not be rushing these kits out and actually listen to the community of what we want for our kits. Like, I
Yeah.
understand the cast is like, well, I want more cast ones, and builders like, well, I want more builder ones. Storytellers, I want storyteller ones. Like, it's just like, okay, can we just do like I like the everyday clutter kit. Like, I like the concept of that. That's perfect for builders. Can we just do like, I'd like kits that added on to the worlds that we already have. Like, to be honest with you, I think that would be like an add-on, a true add-on, in my personal opinion. Like, if you're gonna do a kit for city living, a great example, add more stuff to that. Basically, make it like the Taylor Swift version of these packs and put out like the stuff that didn't make the first cut, get it in there.
Yeah.
We would pay for it. I'm sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now, but what are your thoughts about this?
I would also give my left hit to
Thank
have
you.
to have stuff bags bag. I think kits are a waste of money.
Yeah.
Like the clutter kit, how amazing would that have been if it was stuff pack and we
Oh
had
my
just more items and
oh my
things? It would
god.
just would have been great. To be honest, I really hate buying the the CAS ones. I think that they're a waste of money because you can go and download the
Mm-hmm.
content for free on CC. And some of it is weird clothing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like the carnival one.
Oh yeah.
The only one that I have liked, I can't remember its name. Moon something. Is that it?
Yeah,
Moon King?
moonshine. I get it. It's that ethnicity's culture's clothing. I get that. And I love that they're putting that in there for us to be able to experience different cultures. But that's not an everyday outfit choice.
No, it's
I
not.
I would actually give my shit to have princess dresses in the game that don't look like Elsa from Frozen, or tiaras. Why? Like, we don't have crowns. I spent 45 minutes this morning trying to find tiaras and crowns. That's what I did this morning. Because like,
Yeah,
because there's none in the game. It's all
yeah.
it's
There's
right.
it's nothing. Yeah, like, do you know what? From a storyteller perspective, CC is. I can't like. There's a storyteller. I don't know how to say her name. Is it Murray?
Oh,
She does like the
Mira
whole.
Ray. She does
Yeah, that's
royals.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Royals. I don't know how she finds the clothing for all of those, and it looks amazing because
Mhm.
I've spent hours searching for like different like that kind of vibe of clothing, and it's such a long time. I'm obsessed though with CC. Literally, before I log on every day, I'm on my CC and I go through everyone, see if they've put anything up there, and yeah, and always downloading, like to the point where this is a really awful So my game takes 20 minutes to load now.
Mhm.
And my partner, he's like, you sure your game's not broken? I was like, yeah, 100% is. I'm just ignoring it because I can't play my game now without any custom content.
I love it. I agree. I could go run a marathon, come back. I might see the scene just because as a storyteller, I have a lot of poses.
Yeah.
That's specifically what I go after. I think I have like over 1,000 poses now. Like anytime I see, I'm like, okay, I might need that. I'm the biggest person. Well, I don't need this today, but I might need this in the future. So I'm just gonna download it because well, I have it instead of it being like, oh, I guess it's gone now kind of idea. But I got to ask, who are your favorites when it comes to CC creators?
Oh, gosh. I've got so many. So when it comes to poses, so to be honest, I've stopped doing as many storytelling poses now because I'm definitely more about like doing the Kaz stuff or dollhouse kind of
Mm-hmm.
things. But
Yep.
for my 31 days of spoopy, that I use quite a lot of storyteller stuff. So Natalia Auditoire,
Yes. Yep.
amazing.
Chef's kiss. Amazing.
Yeah. Mel Bennett,
Mm-hmm.
I think her poses are amazing. Starry Simsy,
Mm-hmm.
um, Lazy Simsy, Lazy Simmy, so Lazy Sims, something lazy, some Sims, something. So she's amazing. So she does a whole story thing, which I'm obsessed with. I absolutely love her story. But she also does deco sims.
Yes.
Amazing. Deco sims are like the way forward if you need like a build to be like a little bit like, hey, there's people, but they're not actually like you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
actually look after them. Um, Probably clothing people. So for shoes, always just Sims.
Mm-hmm.
Then Clumsy Alien. I'm Vikai. Or is it Vicky? Vikai. Why are
Yep.
these names so hard to say?
I know because I believe I'm queuing up my list in my head and I'm like, oh, the ones that do this. But
I'm
yeah,
trying to
sorry.
think because I literally have them all saved on my what do I call it? Sims Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on Patreon, I have them saved all like I follow all of them. So then I just basically go through and I click and I might see which ones. One of my favorites is a creator called Avell Sims. So she does like kind of like alternative clothing.
Okay.
Then when it comes to hairs, that's a completely different like bunch of people. So you've
Mm-hmm.
got Dog Seal.
Mm-hmm.
Her hairs are incredible.
Yep.
AH00B, uh,
Yep.
A Harris Brittany or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Green Llamas, another great person. Machino's son, Charlie Pancakes. Yeah, I do. I love all of the CC people. Like I enjoy. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite part. So one of the things that I'm really bad at doing, and a lot of the people who follow me on Instagram know this, is I should do CC lists.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the process of creating a CC list for Kaz, it's the longest process of doing it
Mm-hmm.
because I use so much of it. Then trying to re-find it and relink it, it's the
Right.
most boring thing to do. And like as much as I do, like I'm so happy to like share content with people. At the same as well, I have to then make a decision. Do I create my CC list tonight or do I go and play on the game? And
I wonder
like
which one you're gonna pick. I'm so curious. All right. Yeah.
so like, it's like oh well, I don't like as much as I want to give the content, I'm like, but I want to play the game more and do stuff. So yeah, but there's just so many content creators. Like I think when I first started using CC, there wasn't really as many, but now it's like I swear everyone does a bit of content creating, and it's like people are like, where do you find those clothes? And I'm like, just go on Tumblr, just go on
Yep.
Tumblr and search it, and you'll find all of it. And it will, if you need
I
something, just Google it. Google.
I I totally agree. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off either.
No, yeah, fine.
Now we're both being proper British polite. You go. No, no, you go. I totally just like I'm theme. Um, Sims for princess dresses. CC. And I just go and I just find everything. I what I really like using it's a website called Fandom Spot. They will literally say like so say if I was looking for royal stuff earlier today, it's like top 20 royal dresses for free, and they literally they show you everything. You just have to click here to get to the CC and it brings you right to like that has saved years of my life trying to find CC, but I I agree. People will be like, "What did you use for Alexa's hair there?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'll
I don't
find
know.
it. I can tell you. Like, you got to give me like a year to find it in there and let you know which one I use." But um, no, like CC creators absolutely make the story what it is. We couldn't tell our stories. We couldn't create Sims that looked like us without it. Even when they added, the what is it, like 100 different skin tones or something like, but they're still not realistic. That's what kills me. They all still look so flat. Everything in the
Yeah.
game is flat. Just like literally, EA. I know sometimes you listen to these things. Sack to saturation. Make it a little brighter. A little bit more colorful, because like you're right with shirts. Because like this morning I was going through, because I think when you're storytelling, fashion is very important. It tells a character story if they have money, if they're not. Anyway, so I was going through. I was finding designer CC, which is just also really fun to find. And I was like, I was downloading these jeans. I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to use these. My brain's like, you're going to use them because the jeans that are in the game are garbage, absolute garbage.
Yeah.
There's no texture to them. They don't even have the denim texture to them. They're just blue. Like I just
And
like,
it's a weird shade of blue as well. It's not
yes,
a normal shade of blue. It's like I've never seen this kind of color gene before, but because it's EA, I'll give it a go, but it's still not correct.
right? EA, listen to us. We need things in this game, and don't create them yourselves for the love of God. You're not trusted with that. Get these people who want to make your game better, CC creators, get them in the room where it happens. I would love to start seeing, so say, I don't remember her name, but it starts with an M. It's like Mikko or
Yeah,
Mik.
yeah. I
Yeah,
always say
Miko.
Miko. Yeah,
Miko.
I always go Miko.
I would shit my pants. I would give my right tit for this because I gave left for stuff. I got to get my right. So say she made an actual kit with the Sims, and it was specifically for that, and she gave us her like everything that she's been working on, and like a special collection. I would buy that in a heartbeat if half the more than half the proceeds went to her because she
Oh,
made it.
100%.
I would want 80-20 because that's usually marketing deals. It's 80-20. So 80% goes to the person making the content and the 20% goes to the manager and back to the content team. 80-20, very good. I would do that in a minute. I would be so happy. I would be screaming from the rooftops. Also, with console players, they would be screaming from the rooftops because then they would have that ability to have those types of creations in the game.
She's an incredible creator. Like I will always use her like body shapes. I'll use some of
Mm-hmm.
her like facial presets and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that it just gives that more realistic vibe for the Sims and stuff. And even the hairstyles. Yeah, no, she's an
Yes.
overall like great creator.
Right? Again, I want that. I want to see that in there being like, pay these people what they deserve because they're amazing. But anyways, I feel like we can keep talking about CC, but let's talk about cast for you because I was obsessed with your spooky this season. Because every like a lot of people were doing the 31 days and I was like obsessed with yours because like this is so good. I'm like, wait, is she a storyteller? And like I don't know it.
Oh,
But Cass is a
so
storyteller. I mean, you're
yeah.
telling a story by creating a sim.
Yeah, so 31 Days of Spoopy, it's definitely like my thing. Like it's my favorite thing to do every year. So do you know what? When it comes up though, I'm never prepared as I want to be. Like I don't think anyone realizes 31 posts every day. It's so much
Mm-hmm.
content. So the first year that I did it, when I first started Instagram, I was definitely more of a storyteller. So I would like, yeah, put like work, like I would actually do like speeches and
Mm-hmm.
kind of get more talking and stuff. And I think I've just kind of stopped doing that as I think it's mainly a time thing
Mm-hmm.
rather than just don't have as much time as I used to previously, especially now that we're not like isolating and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of started because like I like my alternative stuff, like all of like the spooky things, like all scary vampire magic, all of that stuff, basic bitch, basically.
That is
And
not a basic bitch. I'm gonna sit here, basic bitch at fall time with my pumpkin spice latte with my ripped jeans and my white blouse and my good girl Christian jacket. And we're gonna go for an apple spice walk. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna go lie in some hay. Because we gotta get our hay
yeah,
photos. Yeah. Oh, and you definitely talk like this. And you're like, oh my God. Like I love spooky. I have a black shirt.
well, we'll put it this way. So I recently got a pair of Crocs because, you know, I'm trying to be that trend. And I got one of the widgets, but instead of it being like, you know, your little generic pumpkin widget or something, I got yeah, one of this I got like loads of like murderers from spooky films like Scream,
Yes.
Michael Myers.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
That
so I love stuff like I love true crime things. So most of the time, if I'm not playing Sims, I'm probably watching some sort of murder documentary and things. That's very much like my jam. That actually, that's it's kind of what I do at the same time. I'm playing Sims, but also watching like a murder documentary. You know, bit bit of an interesting vibe.
love
But
it.
yeah, so that was actually why I think this year I started off with a collaboration, which was with Simply Tiara,
Mm-hmm.
and that was basically we had to come up with a character, and yeah, I decided to choose a serial murderer, and yeah, he killed a load of women and buried them in their garden. Yeah, it went a bit dark. So do you know what I think as well, as the longer I've been on Instagram, so this was my third year of doing 31 days of spoopy,
Mm-hmm.
and this year it definitely got darker.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, so the first year was a bit more like, oh my God, like let's use what Sims already has, the vampires and the zombies, and try and make it all cutesy and make it like spoopy cute. Whereas the year after it started to get a bit more darker. So I think I had one of my posts was like a witch being burned on a stake.
Love it.
And then this year it just got a little bit more darker with serial killers and stuff. So I think I'm just slightly getting more and more darker with my content. But then Halloween is over and then it's like, oh dude, baby post.
Christmas.
Yeah,
No, but I like, okay, like we need more spooky, scary shit in The Sims. Okay. Like I'm tired of hearing The Sims is a friendly family game. Why? It's like 18, it's 18A. It's not a PG game. Why do the fucking werewolves look like cat monsters? Why are they furries? That's werewolves
don't
are
get
not
me
furries.
started.
No,
The werewolves were could have been good and it just wasn't. Like I just I love like the whole like I like the idea of having magic. I like the idea of having vampires. I love that kind of stuff because I like fantasy and things, but some of the ways that they've kind of executed it, it's just not been, yeah, like I mean the thing that I don't understand is, so when I am doing storytelling posts,
mm-hmm.
is how to turn a werewolf into an actual werewolf whilst it's kind of like walking around. I assume there's some sort of mod that you can probably
Yeah,
use to,
there's the werewolf mod.
see, I haven't used that yet. So then when it came to my like spooky month, I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to attempt it. So I just continue to use Natalia's
Yep.
werewolf because I was like, I'm not even going to try it. Because another thing that winds me up when you're doing storytelling, so you'll get a vampire,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get them into the poses,
Yep.
and then a few minutes later they're dead by sunlight.
Yep.
And then it's just like, great, now I've got to restart my poses again, try and get the same lighting. And yeah, that happened multiple times during the process of 31 Days of Spoopy. I should definitely use more mods to try and save me from that
Yeah,
happening.
you can turn off death. This is very, it's literally, it's like turn death off or toggle death.
No, don't
Yeah.
tell me this.
No, you can literally turn off. I do that every time I play now because I can't let any of my characters die. It's the story, right? So I'm just like, turn death off because when I started, like the main character, Alexa, oh my God, she died like 5 times, like all the time. She died of embarrassment. She died of heat exhaustion because I didn't know when I started everything that like if you didn't have like if it was like hot as hell outside and they were outside and they were in their school uniform, it was actually their winter clothes, they would melt to death.
That's still happening to me. That's still, I
Yes,
need to turn off death.
you have to. I will send you the cheat on how to turn off death. I do it all the time now. I'm just like, you're
I
fine.
need this.
Yeah, because then you
Yeah.
can't die. You can't die. I have out cheated death. You can't die. But yes, I like I agree though when it comes to it, it's annoying. Like I specifically, anytime I do anything vampire based, to be honest with you, I actually don't even make it them a vampire as I create a cast. I just add the CC to make it look like it after. I can't be
Yeah, I do
bothered to
that as
go.
well.
Thank you. I can't be bothered to go through and be like, okay, well, he's a vampire. We have a minute to do this. Let's hope it goes well before the sun comes in. I don't have hope that it's going to go well, but we will see.
Oh,
So
I think one of the worst things that happened to me this time. So I was doing like it was a scene with there was a girl on a slab of stone and there's a
okay.
witch with a knife and
Yes,
she's
yes.
yeah.
Okay. We're talking after about what pose that was. We're gonna come back to that after this podcast is over. But yes, I saw that and I was like,
So a funny story about this one.
yeah,
So as we've just established, I haven't learnt the cheat of turning death off.
yeah.
So I'm doing these poses and I'm like, okay, they're going really well. I'm really happy with how this is looking. And then they die of the heat. And I was like, great. But then she gets stuck behind the CC stone. The Grim Reaper can't reach her because she's stuck behind the stone. So I'm stuck with all of these random Sims that have come to knock on my door to say, welcome to the welcome wagon, trying to like get to her. And they're all crying around her. The Grim Reaper stood there going like this. And I can't actually exit the game because it won't let me exit it because I can't save it because she's dead and the Grim Reaper can't finish it. I think I had to literally like, yeah, kill the like turn it off completely and restart the whole thing again. And then I had to recreate everything all over because yeah, it would just
I'm so sorry. I am like crying of laughter. That is the best thing I've ever heard. I'm so sorry. That was painful for you at the time, but that is incredible.
I was just sat there going, what? Like literally they were like the welcome whack. It was the fact that the welcome wagon was happening at the same time. And I'm like, just
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Also, can we just turn off the welcome wagons? Is there a mod or cheat for that? Because I would really appreciate it instead of just them
Oh,
always showing up when you go
so
to a different lot. It's just like, don't care. Don't
the
care you're
funniest
here.
thing is, you know, that it's 31 days of spoopy for me because sometimes the welcome wagon is just body parts. So I sometimes create Sims and they are just body parts for my storytelling
Yep.
things. So you'll just have like a bloody arm or a bloody leg coming and knocking at the door, and they're just stood at the door and stuff. And I'm like,
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Sorry. Again, I've heard a lot of stories on this podcast. That has to be the best story I've ever. Please take that crown happily because that's okay. But again, like, why can't we? So, like, so Def, why can't we exit the game? I understand. Like, why can't we do that? It would just make life easier. But no, girl, I got you. I'm going to send you that death off cheat. So next year for spooky 31 days, no one's going to die. They might overheat, but they're not going to die.
I die. Oh, it was a thought I just couldn't do anything, and I had to just completely reboot the game. And as we know, it takes 20 minutes then to load the game, and then by that time I was like, "Oh, stuff this! I don't want to even create it anymore. Like it's stupid."
I'm so sorry that happened to you. Yeah, but I will say your Halloween 31 days was the best one that I'd seen this year. It was so creative. I loved it. And that's why I was like, I'm like, Carl's a storyteller. She's going so well. I love all these poses because anyone that's a good storyteller, it's got my heart. Anyways, I got a couple more questions for you, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
What tips and tricks could you give to anybody wanting to do, you know, let's say the Halloween, 31 days of spooky.
Do you know what? This isn't. Do you know what? This isn't really a tip about creating content. But the one thing that I see this a lot, and it's people getting really like disappointed with the algorithms and
Mhm.
getting really upset with like their content not reaching or their followers not going up as quickly as they want to. And I think my biggest tip for that is enjoy what you're doing. If you want to create Sims and you want to post them on Instagram or Twitter or do YouTube, don't do it for the followers. Don't do it for how many views you're going to get. Don't do it because you think you're going to end up being a Sims superstar and this. Do it because you actually enjoy creating it, because otherwise you'll get stuck into this weird place feeling that you're not good enough. And guys, you're all good enough. Everyone is good enough to create stuff. If you're enjoying what you're creating, you are good enough. And I think that's probably my biggest tip is just enjoy it and don't worry about who's following. But I'd say with creating stuff, my biggest top tip is get Canva. So Canva is this amazing editing tool which just makes my life really easy. It's how I create most of my CAS posts, is how I like put logos into things. It's how I will if I'm creating a witch, but as we know, witches can only create magic if they have a wand. But in my CAS poses, I get them to have sparkly things coming out of their hands. I'll use Canva, and that's one of the easiest ways to create things and make it look a bit more edited than if you don't want just doing poses. The other thing is reshade. If you want good reshade, G-shade, whatever it's called now, but that again, that will make your poses and make your posts just generally look a bit more finished than if you are to just use the Sims lighting. But yeah.
TragicPlumbob, that's all amazing advice. I could not agree more, especially when it comes to the algorithm. I can speak for myself. I'm sure this happened to you. You post something, you put your heart and soul out there, and you're like, how come this didn't stick? This doesn't make sense. I did everything I'm supposed to do. Why is it not getting to everybody? Why am I not good at this? And then you have this existential crisis of being like, wow, well, who am I doing this for? And then you're like, well, I'm doing it for me. And if you're doing it for you, then it doesn't matter. If one person saw your post, your mom liked it, and it was shared twice, it doesn't matter because you did it for you. But it's also a really big step to get that first post out there. And everybody's first posts are cheesy.
Oh, mine as well.
Because you don't know what you're doing, right? Like my first post, I literally took a screenshot of because it was the first time I ever used CC in Sims 4, and it was alpha, but it was broken, and I didn't know how to fix it at that time. But it was fine, when you go to the gallery. So I took a snippet of that. That was the first photo I ever had, and I will never get rid of it because you can take a look from where I came from and where I am today, which is only 10% better. I'm gonna be honest, 10%.
I don't know if I've deleted mine. I might have, because mine was super cringe. So I think I took the logos of Sims 1, 2, 3, and 4 and put that into one picture. And my caption was like, hey, I'm Blur and I've played all of the Sims.
But again, you put yourself out there. You made that first step. And then I always say the first post is always the hardest, but the second is easiest. Because you've already done it. You've already put it yourself, and then it just gets easier with time, and you learn different methods, and you learn different skills, and you pick up different things, and you see stuff, and then you ask us for help, and then we give the help to you, and you're like, oh my God, now I can do these things.
I totally agree. I think the most stressful thing about creating an internet profile for Sims is choosing a name. I think trying to choose your name for your stressful. So TragicPlumbob, I don't even know why that's my name, because I don't like clowns. I can't stand them. I think the tragic clown is the most scariest thing ever. But yeah, that's my name, and it's stuck and it's not going. So
I got you. I'm my real name is not Stassi. It is not. It is Jen. I am more than happy to say what my real. Actually, technically, it's Jennifer. I just go by Jen. Stassi is when I was drunk when I was younger. Is my mom would be like, "You're being so Stassi," which is sassy attitude. It's sassy attitude mixed together. So I'm Stassi because I have a sassy attitude, and I add J in there because I'm Jenny, and I play Sims 4. Because people are like Anastasia, and I'm like, what? Sorry, is that Anastasia around here? And they're like, Cassandra? I'm like, Jen? They're like, but you're Stassi. I'm like, it's a made up name. But what I like about it is you're able to give yourself your name, or our parents chose our names for us. I kind of was like that. I was like, we can just choose
I
what
like
we
that
want.
name.
Yeah. My mom's always like, maybe in Stassi today, maybe be a little nicer to your interviewing guests. Maybe let them talk once in a while. Love my
Oh,
mom. She like God, she's the only person that ever gave me a 5-star review, which is so funny. So I'm sure you've seen the Simmer magazine. So
yeah.
I'm doing an ad for them. So whenever the first issue comes out, I have an ad. I have one for Rose Chronicles and I have one for the podcast. And Rose Chronicles, I did a whole section where I had 30 people review it. I was able to get reviews and all that stuff and, to grow. But for the podcast, it was actually ever left me a review besides my mom. So I literally put it in there being like, so she said, best podcast to listen to when you're playing The Sims, Stassi's mom. And I was like, I have to put that as my review for this.
Do you know what? Mum's just the best. Like I remember, I think it was when I got to like, I think it must have been around 5,000 followers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting the hate comments. Few started like trickling in, and
Mm-hmm.
since I've got more followers, I do get a few comments here and there, which I'm like, oh, that's a bit sassy. But yeah, I try not to let it bother me. But I remember my mum was like, I'm going to go on your Instagram to give you a bit of support and try and understand what this whole thing is. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay. She went on to it and she went on to a post where someone was being not the nicest. And she was like, I'm going to send them a private message and I'm not happy about this. And I was like, Mum, I'm like, you can't go on. No,
No.
no. Like, you just don't. Just leave them alone. Just let them be them and
Yeah,
we be us. And that's the fine.
exactly.
I'm not sad about it.
But moms, though, moms are the best. Yeah.
100%. My mom is definitely the best.
Well, anyways, TragicPlumbob, aka Rachel, it was an absolute pleasure getting to sit down and talk with you today. Why don't you let everyone know where we can find your work?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can find me on Instagram. That's probably like my main place. So, that's where I like will talk with people the most. I'll answer questions and kind of chat. I've also got a Tumblr, I've got a Twitter, I've got YouTube, and everything is Tragic Plum Bob. So I am going to be you can also find me on Etsy as well. So on Etsy, I sell it's called the Cheat Coaster. Um so basically it has I've actually got one here because I use it on my desk. It's basically can't see
Oh,
it
hold
very
on.
well,
It's blurry. There you go. Okay.
but
Oh,
basically it's a list of all the cheats and stuff. So I created that about God, it must be about a year ago now. But I sell them on my Etsy as well, which people like to buy for Christmas gifts and things. It's just like quite a useful tool to use and stuff.
mhm.
But yeah, I'm mainly Instagram though, but I am going to be uploading some YouTube videos soon.
I'm excited because you're also gonna be part of the roundtable YouTube
Very
chat.
excited for that. That's going to be
Yes,
fun.
that's in next week, which I'm super excited about to film. That has the most people I've ever had on a roundtable.
Does it? Oh,
Yep.
that is so exciting. Is it? Have you got many people that you've spoken to previously?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay,
It's
cool.
it's about 50-50. I have more people wanting to come in. So people are like, I only have like 500 subs. I was like, dude, I have 287 and I'm hosting it. Come on in. Give us our
Yeah.
tips and tricks, right? I mean, it's all it is. It's tips and tricks. What's it like being on there? I because I have speed builders, machinima creators, cast, the thing, the stop motion,
Oh
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff, right? So like talk to me about that because the stop motion I now finally wrapped my mind around what it is. So I still would do it. I mean, it's so much time. I don't have that
I
much
wouldn't lie.
time.
Not
Mm-mm.
it's so much time. I don't know how people can sit and do it, but yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube's a weird one, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I probably think that YouTube, the reason why as well I don't enjoy the editing is because I find it's the one that I get like the least out of. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like I put so much effort into it and get like the least amount from it, which again, that's not what it's about. Like as long as I'm having fun doing it, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But and I guess yeah, that's probably why I don't create as much content because I don't enjoy the whole process. I'm like, well, I'm only doing it for me. So like
Yeah. I got you. I stopped making speed builds cast videos because no one gives a shit. I'm not God's gift to the world for either of those things. People come to watch these interviews while they play Sims. I'm well aware of that. But like I because I remember when you had to do reels So
Yeah.
I would make TikTok reels and YouTube shorts. I still do the YouTube shorts for the podcast, like this, like the
Mhm.
exclusive sneak peek, because why not get that viewership out there? But like I was out there making 4 reels a week in the summer, and I was stressing myself out because they were all custom, they were all different. And I was like, no one gives a shit, Stas. Like, because again, there's so much out there that I wanted to create this podcast to be different, to have carve its own way out, because there's so many amazing, like there's so many different Sims podcasts out there. They're all amazing, but we all do very different things, which is very nice that we are all different. But speed builds, they're kind of the same. You can either talk or it's music, or stop motion, same idea. It's talk or it's very similar. Or I'm just like, I don't stand out enough in those fields for people to watch my content. I'm well aware of that. So I want to do something that, if I'm going to put this much time and effort into it, to stand out and do something different. So,
Well, do you know what? I love listening to these. It's
oh,
nice seeing the people who I've like got to know on Instagram, but like it's like seeing them on a real level, which is really
yeah.
strange. Like it's like I've really enjoyed like listening and kind of hearing their stories and stuff, because even though I've spoken to some of them on Instagram, we've never like had like a proper conversation where we've gone, so why did you start this? And so it's actually really cool and yeah, to be fair, I'm probably playing Sims while listening to your YouTube, but
But that's perfect. That's why I created it. Go nuts. Listen to it if you're playing Sims or you're on the road or you're working out. Listen to your favorite simmers, tell their stories, give them tips and tricks. I just learned that there's an After Effects for the teleport, like for the tele thingy. You know,
Mhm.
you teleport, but there's a special effects one that you can add special effects into the game. I just learned that last week. I had no idea that existed.
Well, I didn't know that. Well, I found out today that I can cheat death, and that's like
Yes.
like that's going to change my life. Like that's oh, I'm so excited for this.
Okay. Well, I think this is the perfect point to wrap it up. Tragic Plum Bomb, it's been an absolute pleasure. Please go check out all the links. Their links are going to be below. Thank you so much for coming here today. I'm so excited to chat with you next week with the YouTube roundtable. I'm so excited to pick your brain, pick everybody's brain, and learn some tips and tricks. You have been an absolute doll, and thank you so much for coming here today.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. It's been such like a like fun actually talking to you, and yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been great.
Oh my gosh, well, thank you so much. I enjoy it too. You just get to talk to somebody who validates your opinions and actually knows what you're talking about.
100%. Like you can't like if you a lot of my friends don't play Sims, so it's nice, yeah, just having a chat and being able to actually talk about yeah, because if I talk to this about my friends, they're like, what? Stuff packs, kids? Huh?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Or like, we care.
Yeah.
Anyways, TragicPlumbob, absolute pleasure. Please go follow her. Links are me below. Have a great rest of your day, okay?
And you, hope you have a lovely day too.
Thanks. Bye.